Hey now, just to let you know, when I sent you photos, I meant like go ahead and just like use your favorite one. I didn't realize you're going to use all of them.
Well, he did specify, and he's
That's
our
true.
buddy. We got to talk about it right now here on Teal Town Live. But of course, if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world in Sharks territory on the YouTube app, or if you are watching us after the fact, make sure you leave a comment down below. Of course, you can follow us on the socials, find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you want to support the pod, of course, hit us up at Venmo on TealTownUSA, or if you are watching us live, hit us up as a super chat. With that, I say good evening to my buddy, AJ.
How you doing?
We're going to talk about our buddy tonight.
The B-Man, Bro Dog.
Yes, Bro Bra. I still can't believe it. I really still can't believe it. It came out at 7 a.m. Then he makes the announcement that
I thought was a little interesting. I'm like, crap, who the hell wakes up that early?
And it looks so nice and sharp and everything.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, and yeah, for those of you, I am on the right. Am I not?
Yes,
I am the guy on the right. Okay.
You are the guy on the right.
I can't remember what that was a running joke from the last cast.
The Reddit. I think it was a Reddit or
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Or was it a comment in the chat? You know.
No. It was Reddit. It was, I can't take Teal Town. The guy on the right was blah 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 blah. Whatever, dude. What then don't fucking watch. It's that simple.
Or watch and just
anyway. or watch and then go complain about me on social media. It's fantastic.
And
either one will work.
And like Drew said, say thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. And I'll be completely honest with you. I have no idea how to change it right now, so I'm not going to. I don't care.
You did it earlier. What was it? The couple nights ago, or last time you were on?
It's fine.
It's fine. He's AJ Strong. I mean, let's be honest. If you don't know him by now,
who cares? Brodie's gone from NBCS. Announced it this morning, as Eric said. The best reporter on the Sharks beat, Curtis Pashelka, out there, says a source indicated that his contract was not renewed. So, for the people on the social media channels, you can stop your endless speculation of fucking John Fisher. Like, this had nothing to do with John Fisher. This had nothing to do with his criticism of the A's. Do you see ABC firing Casey Pratt over anything?
No, he left to go to work in the Oakland mayor's office.
Sure. And hey, more power to him. Hope that ends up being something. So, my first thing when it comes to Brodie is he was one of the first to support what we were doing.
Yep.
One of the first. Yeah. One of the first to, odd that this week they both put out statements.
Back-to-back days. And we'll celebrate Shalina on Sunday as well.
And then I like this Ruben checking in from the chat, checking in from beautiful Chicago, Illinois. The funny thing being, I don't want to say funny, actually. I want to say coincidental, is that Chicago's NBCS RSN whole thing, they're shutting shit down at the end of the month once baseball season is over. So, yeah, we'll get to that in a hot minute. But again, taps to Brodie for, being one of the first to support what we were doing.
Yep.
I think he also recognized that the two teams that he's associated with, the Sharks and the Athletics, largely underserved by the local sports media, be it print and radio. So he helped us out in that regard, joined us. And, for the longest time, we had an annual preview show with him, had a lot of fun. I even did one show where during a discussion with Remenda, I phone conferenced in
Yes.
Brodie. It was very funny. So, anyway, Brodie helped and supported us in a big way very early on. Can't thank him enough for that. There's even a shot I have of him wearing a Teal Town shirt on a Twitter mission.
Yes. Good old Twitter missions.
Right. So, and let's talk about that. I mean, starting as a bench side guy, bench side reporter, and how much video there must be of guys like Vlasic or Burns. I mean, so many, Gomer, just fucking with him when he was on the bench.
I mean, but that's how. I mean, how many times did Pickles, punch him in the where, or Jason Demers kind of like, or trying to rub his nose with their hockey sticks. And one of the things is that that's what makes it fun for it, and Brodie, and like Crichton09 says, the other fact of the matter is he's a Bay Area boy. The rough thing is that Brodie is one of us, Bay Area boy. No hate to the new host, but Brodie is like family after 15 years. And that's the thing. I mean, some of people have, grown about some of the things that he, with him and Curtis Brown and, like, Doc Brown. That Batman guy.
I heard that Curtis Brown is actually behind this whole thing. No.
Oh, really?
But I mean, dude, starting off bench side reporter, host, Late Night Confidential.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
So there's a kind of a long-winded story to that with us, if you don't mind. So his Brodie's dad, Mike. Hello, Mike, if you're watching. Wait, sorry, Mike, if you're watching, reached out to me randomly, email. He's like, "Hey, we're doing a surprise party for Brodie. He's hitting a age milestone. We wanted you to do a caricature for us to do it." And I'm like, okay, number one, I've never done any caricature drawings before, but
is this 30 or 40?
Well, I wasn't going to call it his age, but it was 30.
Okay.
And I presented to them, put it in the frame. But what I also did was I attached the beard, made a detachable beard off and on for him for whenever it gets to playoff time. Long story short, Randy Hahn, I was invited to the party. Randy Hahn comes up to me and says, "Hey, we need a Late Night Confidential logo." And that's when we knew that things were going to get rolling for that. So, yeah, I mean, but Late Night Confidential, I mean, probably one of the best non-shows that CSN at the time put out. And that was great stuff. Early on.
No other team, their broadcast crew was doing anything like that.
No, but that's the thing. That's the thing with our broadcast team. I mean, you talk about Drew, you talk about Randy, you talk about Brodie. I mean, yes, you also have Dan Ruzanowski and Jamie Baker, among others that have been in there along with Hetty and such. But our crew, in San Jose has always had that fun mentality, whether it was on the air or anything, it's just something special. And Late Night Confidential was just one of those things.
I like the fact that they would do funny things. Like they didn't take stuff too seriously. They understood, look, in the big picture, we're rooting for laundry. But the fact that they would try different things, and there were a few things, I'll be quite honest, that I'm bummed that they didn't stick with, and then,
like what?
And Twitter mission. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a fantastic interactive thing for the uninitiated for a couple of seasons there. During first and second intermission, they would obviously be live on the broadcast, but then they would cut to commercial. And then during those 2.5, 3 minutes of commercials, they would actually be live broadcasting on Twitter and answering questions that were coming in on the soch. And it was a lot of fun. And sometimes there would be some jokes that would bleed from on air to off air, and it was a lot of fun to just see something like that. Like when it made me watch the entire intermission, on Twitter. And of course, the appeal, one of the big appeals is the fact that there's no commercials that you have to deal with, but just the back and forth between Brodie and Brownie. It was a lot of fun. But it's, again, benchside reporter, host, late night confidential, Twitter mission, some of the shark bite content that he ended up, picking up the slack when Remenda was ceremoniously did not have his contract extended. And then after he launched his YouTube channel, his whole night shift thing. I mean, my whole and then let's be honest, endless folly for whatever Sharky antics were coming. Endless folly. So never took it too seriously, but my point being, name me another host, a pre-post host. We can just keep it to hockey. Is there another, and this isn't rhetorical, this is an actual question. Is there another host that, puts himself out there the way that Brodie does? Is a folly for the mascot, will do some of the, put on a fucking Robin costume and it wasn't even close to Halloween, dude. Not even close when that happened.
I can't upload GIFs, but I remember photoshopping this for Brodie.
Dude, and the fact that Brodie then recognized your efforts and they posted this on post game.
Yeah.
And I remember this specifically because Brodie was really impressed with the fact that he's like, look at this. He nailed the fonts. He's got the ticker in there. It's, it's perfection. This is somebody who clearly knows what they're doing. And, God help me if I ever get on their bad side. You know what I mean? And I remember doing one where what was it? I think it was something about them being global. We're on the Twitter, so we're global now. We're not just limited to the Bay Area. And so I remember getting some Getty image of a couple, 2 or 3 astronauts watching some screen. And I photoshopped the screen cap of the pregame. And then they put that on the broadcast. That's something else I kind of miss from Brodie and Brownie before, before the transition to the new studio and everything like that, when they were in that older studio before they ended up in the basement for a season. Remember that, where they were in outdoor wooden chairs? And
I think the alternate studio. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, but there was a lot of use of tweets from fans, during pre-post intermissions. The fact that they had a lot of that interactivity, I'm not saying that other ones didn't have that, but I don't know of anybody who like Brodie that would go to the lengths that he did to just, he just didn't take himself too seriously while remaining very professional.
I just figured out we can do GIFs on here. I am in trouble. I'm breaking them all out now. Keep going.
I'm gonna actually, I have a little folder of some GIFs that I'm gonna have to tweet out later after we're done.
Brodie, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just letting you know right now. We have a boatload of GIFs of you, bud. So this
the Chester coming in with some great memories here. It's first off, so NBC Bay Area is just going to replace Brodie with a cheap option that has no ties to the Sharks. It wouldn't surprise me if you look at what's happening with I hate saying that phrase too because it's tied to an orange bozo. If you look at what's happening with but if you see what is going on, I got to figure out a different way to
figuring
phrase
out what's
Chicago
going on with the RSNs.
NBCSN Chicago. They're basically shutting shop down at the end of the month. So Chester, yeah, I think it's probably going to be some grouping, shall we say, of who is I guess remains employed by NBC, and I want to get to that in a little bit. So Falcon Strike 21 saying, I still remember Brodie from high school sports focus. Absolutely.
Yep.
You know, I mean, dude came from here. He's shared the photo where he's like 12 years old wearing a Sharks jersey. Mm-hmm. Chief went to San Jose State. I mean, this sucks. You know, I look at Laura Britt and I'm like, I don't get the feeling she grew up a Giants fan. You know what I mean? I just don't. And then I still remember when Brodie came on Pucknology and used the dog filter, and I put him in the Sarah McLaughlin commercial. Yeah, again, it goes back to the early parts of this podcast beginning, where we had no idea what the hell we were doing, but there was silly little things like that we could do. If I remember correctly, he was also wearing a t-shirt and decided to put on a tie halfway through on a t-shirt.
To overcompensate the professionalism that he must exude. and honestly, that one show that we all did, it was just literally spur of the moment. I think I had reached out to him via DM on Twitter and said, hey, we're doing this, you care to come on or anything like that? And like, I think with 5 minutes to go in the game, he's like, yeah, sure, send me the link. I swear, both of us are like, holy crap, we got okay.
They were like, how cool is this? I mean, there's been times where he's like joined us on the drive home from the from the broadcast. So the fact that, again, like I'm not aware of other markets clearly, and I'm assuming that maybe Chicago or New York, some major markets, maybe a little bit different. But what about a Nashville? Or a Dallas or a Seattle or, maybe markets that are kind of in line with us? Is the person that's hosting their pre and post, are they also joining a local podcast and just, shooting this shit? I don't know. I don't think so.
And I mean, it's just, it's frustrating to see because it's like, okay, we're getting Drew back full time, and Brodie and Chivo, you're saying it like that. It just sucks he won't be involved with the Sharks resurgence.
Now that might be an assumption. That might be an assumption. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, and again, that's something that we're going to get to in a little bit here.
But I'm just saying, he's more than welcome to do a boatload of After Darks if he's, Brodie, if you're watching.
I think his channel has a but anyway. Brodie, I like that Cody, not Cody, which one was it? Not to say what you said, Cody, wasn't funny, but there was a different one. What was it? Oh, yeah, like Loika Toiga. Did Brodie announce he was taking over for AJ yet? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be so great for this broadcast?
That would be now
huge just trajectory. But this sucks, and I'm dying to see what the hell we're gonna do. I'm looking at, maybe we need to rethink that Celebrini Smith 24 shirt, and maybe we need to come up with a Brodie version. I don't know. But look, some people thought that Brodie could be a little too Pollyanna and I get that, because it's hard to polish a turd and be super positive when the team that you cover coughs up 10 goals in back-to-back games. It's really tough, but that's the job, and few did it better than Brodie. And it's unfortunate that we live in a world now that, when you're positive about anything, you're a shill or you're state media or whatever. Again, I've met very few people, I want to say zero, that I can name, that made a comfortable living from shitting on the people that employ them. So if you want to, he was, a shill for the Sharks, or a shill for the Athletics, it's literally what he was fucking paid to do.
Right. And the thing is that it's a dream. It's the dream job for him. I mean, he grew up in Castro Valley. He was a is a diehard A's fan.
Well,
We'll see what happens
I
after
think,
September
I was going
29th.
to say,
I
think he's a diehard A's fan. Maybe his fandom of Caval and Fisher, maybe a little lower on the scale.
But I mean, he's been a Sharks fan since day one. And that goes to that brings that passion to you. I guess Randy started the whole thing back in 90, but fewer can say, hey, I have a dream job. I get to follow not just one of my teams that I grew up watching. I get to do both, and that's the thing that you'll miss most from Brodie, is that the passion is there. The dream of doing this. I mean, that's where you give that damn. And that authentic give a damn, like their old slogan, authentic.
Yeah. Authentic Fan Thursday.
Yes.
I want to run through a few of these comments really quickly. I mean, just like Hank Vesuvius saying, between this and not broadcasting Macklin and Smith's debut, NBC Sports is fucking up. Now, to be fair,
that's not their fault on that part.
Yeah, the Macklin Smith debut, that's not their fault.
ESPN has the right of first choice for it all. Sorry, I just want to clarify it.
Cody saying, "Yeah, great. Next, you're going to tell me Randy Hahn is retiring
after
this season." Yeah,
no,
I don't think that's happening.
No,
unless 82 games straight with nobody but Remenda next to him forces him into it.
Oh God, no! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's a joke. Brodie posing with no shirt on. The whole. When Brownie and him redid the Thornton Burns, that was hysterical. See, who's another pre-post game guy who's going to do something like that is that funny? You know what I mean? And again, it comes back to not taking himself seriously. Nicole, you nailed it. Shame on KNBR 95.7 for not talking about this. Well, they don't talk about any of that. That's another thing we're going to get into here in a minute. But
hey, let's talk about what kind of ankle braces Christian McCaffrey will wear on Sunday. Live team coverage next.
Yeah, can we not? Cody asking, do we know the reason of the departure yet? Well, Pachelka, as we said at the top of the show, reported that his contract was simply not renewed. I'm going to take it a step further, just based on what happened with NBCS Chicago. They're trying to, cut money. This is how I look at it. What are the two teams that Brodie is associated with? He's associated with the teams that get the lowest ratings. And that's not Brodie's fault.
Nope.
By any stretch of the imagination. But you look at the Giants and the Warriors, the ones that get the higher numbers, they're on NBCS Bay Area, Athletics and Sharks, NBCS and California. I'm telling you right now, I'm talking out of my ass. That's clearly speculation, which I don't like to do, but I'm just trying to read the tea leaves here.
I love that idea. Brodie should live with Joe and Macklin like Big Brother.
Could you imagine that content? That content would be, if they did that, it would go instantly viral. Every NHL team, they would do, any number one pick, that would be the thing from here on out.
Doug Bentz, if you're watching, I'm
just saying. So look, as for NBCS not renewing his deal, the thing that really gets me is the guy built his own home studio on what appears to be his own dime.
Yeah,
I might add. And it was simply it was providing more content for Sharks and A's fans that are clearly and massively underserved by the local sports media, as we mentioned in the comments earlier between KNBR 95.7, not to mention people like Tim Kawakami or Ann Killen or that only pay attention to the Sharks in April if the Sharks are still playing beyond April 15th, But when COVID happened, who else was churning out more professional content? No one. You know, I mean, dude, look at the other sports media today, like Greg Papa or whatever that broadcasts from his home. Dude, we look more fucking professional than he does.
Damn right we do.
Right. And then, I mean, dude, my point is name me another sports media person in their job, pre or post host, like a Laura Brett or a Carlos What's His Face or whoever does Warriors stuff. Dude, did any of them or anyone from a different market go over and above to produce more content? Like, again, genuine question. It's not rhetorical. Name me somebody. I would love to know.
And it's nothing against Laura or whoever on that. Again, it goes to show you that the little advantage that he had of being a fan of his whole life with these teams, having the no say, of what's going on around. I mean, that would be Chivo. No.
OnlyFans. But you know what though? Cody J is making some great points in the chat. One of the things I want to say that I saw from Cody's comments was that equipment was not cheap. And I don't, look, everybody knows I like to poke the bear from time to time, like to stir the pot, got a big wooden spoon to do it with. But that equipment was not cheap. And I remember Brodie did a video where he kind of like went along and explained the different electronics and, stuff that he was using. And I'm watching this video and I'm writing it down and I'm going, okay, $2,500 mixer. And, it's like $300 processing unit. Oh, wait, there's two of those. And then, there's LEDs and $1,000 DSLR camera and $500 lights. And, and he's trying to say, this is how you put, and I'm going, dude, you've spent like almost 10 grand. You're like, this is not the cheapest way.
And I'm sure his wife and son and dog were thrilled.
Whatever. Hey, fake it till you make it. But the point being is that, like, from what I understand, it looks as though Chief has spent some severely awesome coin to build a ridiculously productive yet very compact studio space. And you see it during COVID. I mean, he was doing, and when he had the setup where it was like him on camera, but he had like the floating iPad and he would talk, do interviews with people. It was so cool. And the fact that he did all that shit on his own.
Yeah.
And, and if, for those of you, again, Cody nailing it here. So if the hockey guy invested in production upgrade, he'd be the hockey Pat McAfee, which is exactly right. Yeah, it probably would. Maybe that's the whole thing. Brodie needs to merge with the hockey guy and just produce hockey guys content. Then there you go. Then we'd have the hockey bro OnlyFans. Does that be anyway? TMI. But and it's funny you bring up the hockey guy because Brodie has, gotten him on his podcast to do some stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and even got him on the air too.
Yeah.
And I know he shouted him out today on his YouTube channel.
So there you go. And then Christian pointing out something kind of significant here. He has almost Brodie has almost 47,000 subscribers. And he says close to the population of Prescott Valley, Arizona. So, okay. Is that where the Arizona Coyotes are going to eventually land up? I don't know. But a bigger point that I think needs to be illustrated, almost 47,000 subs on YouTube. The San Jose Sharks don't even have 40,000. Just saying. But I'm telling you right now, dude.
And we need to get to 4,000. So subscribe down below.
Oh, wow. But dude, I'm telling you, hockey people are just built differently. And I'm not going to name names, but pretty much, despite the fact that I already have, but pretty much every person that I've had contact with involved in hockey media, dude, they will go the extra step to help you out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at who we've gotten on. We'll do. I'm hoping we can do the Randy Hahn chat.
The annual. Randy.
annual Randy Hahn chat, and we have plenty to talk about with that.
I don't know
but
if I'll bug Remenda this year, but we'll see.
Then I expect you to text me his number right away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
I know it will. Thank you. Drew, if you're watching, okay. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There are so many personalities, hockey-wise, that go out of their way to do their thing, and that's the great thing about this sport. I mean, we kind of saw everything with like the Johnny Gaudreau vigils and everything, the outpouring of that. Hockey just hits different, and that's the best thing about it, and I think that's what makes it even more special than it is.
I mean, dude, I've seen the non-hockey sports media people do like the bare minimum. But if you look at the social media feedback since Brodie's announcement, it's 99.9% Brodie love and fuck NBCS or fuck the Athletics or John Fisher, because people are mistakenly blaming the Athletics and John Fisher. It's NBCS. It's all been reported by Pashelka. His contract wasn't renewed. That has nothing to do with the Athletics. But when you look at the social media feedback, it's 99.9% love for Brodie. Do you understand how hard that is to find on the cesspool that is Elon Musk's wasteland? Like, that's incredible to see that. It speaks volumes, especially when you compare that to the feedback of when Hetty announced he was leaving, or even back in the day when the news dropped that Remenda wasn't renewed. That feedback was much more divided. There's definitely a group of people that are fucking Remenda, and there are other like, oh, he's a homer, get him out of here. And and you look at the Edmonton Oilers fans who ended up taking Drew in, and they were, Drew was a poison pill from San Jose to those people. So to see that much positive vibe, and I do have to say that I'm going to do my best from here until I stop doing this broadcast with or working with anything with Teal TownUSA. I'm hoping that's the last time I ever have to use the word vibe, because I think it's one of the most overused words on the planet right now.
AJ Strong, how dare you insult Joe Thornton and director of Vibes?
Dude, go ahead, be the director of it. I'm just tired of the word. But when you consider the vitriol that comes out of social media, to see that much positivity speaks volumes for me. Is to like, if you thought Remenda was beloved, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it tells you everything. And California Cruising saying it right here. Met Brodie a couple of times. Super nice guy. I don't.
Oh no, in person, Brodie's a dick. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, take a look at the picture we took with him. And look how he's posing with this. Yeah.
Is there anybody more miserable? He's like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to take this. He's like, this is literally the worst thing about my job. I hate my life. I mean, dude, with RSNs failing, this, to me, I'm going to say it, this actually might be the best thing ever for Brodie. Like, this could literally be like the first life raft off the Titanic with what we see happening.
Start on before everything falls apart, you mean?
Yeah. All this. I mean, dude, nearly half of the Pacific Division, they don't have RSN. Dude, Anaheim, Seattle, Vegas, they don't have RSNs this coming up season. They're doing direct streaming, producing their own broadcast. Who's to say Brodie, others involved at NBCS that are involved with Sharks pre and post, that they don't make some sort of a transition? Who's to say Brodie doesn't take over the content that Tara Sloan was producing over the last couple seasons? Dude, again, Brodie's channel is more popular than the Sharks channel, for crying out loud. And dude, is NBCS California even going to be a thing in 4 years? The A's are going to be long gone, and the Sharks are finally going to be out from under that horrific TV deal that they've had for like the last, 27 years.
Yeah, but the thing is, how much does it look good now?
What looks good?
Well, because they're still getting money from an RSN, while others are fighting for their lives. You know, you look at Anaheim, you look at
dude, a shitty deal is a shitty deal, dude. Like from what I remember, like the Sharks, they only get like what, $700K a year or something off of that.
7 million.
Or so, okay, 7 million. I knew it was a very small number that started with 7. And meanwhile, you go and look, and like the Ducks get like 3 times that, or at least they did it up until this season. So it was I don't know who signed that deal for the Sharks, but what the hell were you thinking?
I think that was Greg Jameson, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
One.
No, I think you're right. I think it was
Sharks
Jameson.
Brass, you have my numbers. Help me out.
Horrible deal. But again, I don't even know that NBC SCA is going to be a thing in 4 years with the Athletics long gone. Sharks deal expires. I'm telling you, the future screams produce your own shit and sell it to the local network, sell it to a streaming platform. And there you go. Now, the one thing that I kind of go, I don't know about that. It's going to catch some shit. Because, like, again, NBCS Chicago shutting down after 20 years, it bears repeating. By and large, people want to hear about their team. They don't want to listen to an hour of Warriors talk in the hopes of getting 5 minutes of Shark speak when there are so many team and sport-specific podcasts now available, and teams are producing so much of their own content. Before the end of this decade, I'm telling you, NHL, MLB, NBA, produce your own podcasts or broadcasts, sell them to the local network and streaming platforms, but that allows the teams to control the messaging. Now, for those of you who don't know, NBCS signs the checks for the pre and post game hosts, right? NBCS pays Brodie, pays Curtis Brown, pays Jason Demers, Scott Hannon, all those pre and post stuff. They cut the checks for that. The Sharks pay Randy, Dan, and Drew, right?
Right.
So the thing being is that if the Sharks are going to do this, they would be paying all the checks, and you will have to wonder, it would be fair to ask, how unbiased can a broadcast be when the team is paying for everything? They're going to control the message, right? So that's one thing that I could see that, some people would be, but again, they're trying to sell a product. So even if that product is a Yugo or an Edsel or, they're still going to have to put that positive spin on it. So, you're still going to get a little bit of dumped on for that, but I could totally see that happening with all these teams, and RSNs just go by the wayside. Dude, you and I, we remember it wasn't that long ago. It was like 10 years ago. If you went on, I guess at that point, Comcast Sportsnet at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, they had like the Yahoo Sports Show. They would have, rotating panelists talking. And granted, if they got 2 minutes in of Sharks talk, you were like, holy shit, fucking A, what a great show today, Right. But it was, it's usually nothing but wall-to-wall Giants. Well, and again, I say 10 years ago, like, hello, at that point, the Giants were, just about to play for their 3rd World Series in 5 seasons. But the idea of, like, at least there was some sort of type of local talk when it comes to the local sports. Where's that been? And I got to say, we're kind of, we are one of many reasons why they aren't there anymore. People aren't listening to sports talk radio. The RSNs aren't playing that type of programming because they don't draw eyes. Again, I go back to the idea of, you don't want to watch 40 minutes of Giants talk to get 2 minutes of Sharks talk.
And what's the whole thing we've always heard, AJ, throughout the years? We've heard, like Gary Rogers, oh, you guys want to talk Sharks? Okay, 808 KMBR. And be crickets for 5 minutes because no one's paying attention, because they know they, 1, shit on it, and 2, they won't talk about it for very long. I mean, we've heard that through over and over again.
When Radnich would go, call 808 KMBR and talk about the Sharks right now. And it's like, asshole, no Sharks fan is listening to you because, you do this once a month for 2 minutes and you do it as a, gimmick. Yeah. As a fucking joke.
Yeah.
So, not to put too fine a point of it on it, but go fuck yourself. You're sitting here making fun of a fan base that is probably one of the most passionate in the Bay Area. You're lucky I don't find out where the broadcast is coming from and firebomb the fucking building.
Okay, let's not threaten people.
No, I mean, but you understand what I'm saying. It's just like, don't poke the bear if you're not willing to deal with the repercussions. I will say, no, go ahead. The reason I got into podcast was because the sports radio host, when hockey came, said, nobody cares. It was insulting. You just put what we were saying in like the best right there.
And the best thing about that is the producer of that said show works for the Sharks. So how painful is it for Mike Holler to have to do that when deep down inside he's producing a midday sports talk show, and then a few hours later he's going down to San Jose to be the media guy, press announcer.
And you think about it, dude, 10 years ago it was us and Dudes on Hockey.
Yep.
And Dudes on Hockey, they're audio only, still to this day. But we started audio for about 5 seconds. So we're like, fuck this, let's do video. So and now you fast forward to today, and I don't even know how many different Sharks podcasts there are now. But again, people are there. I would guarantee you between us and JD's thing and Shang's thing and all the other ones.
Factor, yeah.
I guarantee you that there are probably more people listening to that grouping of podcasts for Shark stuff, than are actually listening to a random hour of even when Remenda comes on Tolbert.
Yeah.
I guarantee you we have more listeners.
Chivo, shout out to former KMBR great Kate Scott, who's an announcer in Man 25. We love Kate Scott. I met her several times. Hell, we saw her right before COVID happened because she's prepping to call a hockey game.
It was an all-female cast, right?
Yeah, I think it was her, Kendall Coyne Schofield, AJ Malesko, and then the whole NBC staff was all female that night. But I mean, that was, we love Kate Scott. She's busted her ass to do what she's been doing in Philly, and then I think doing all kinds of international stuff. Plus, I think like Seahawks preseason games. Yeah, love Kate.
Huge.
Kate.
It was huge.
Yeah,
I like the funny thing I see, for whatever reason, all of a sudden Ray Ratto's name got thrown into the chat. Ray Ratto has entered the chat. That's one of the funny things that I saw mentioned today on the Reddit thread about the Brodie departure. And it was like, oh, I knew when he got into that huge argument with Ray Ratto, I knew it was over for Drew. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, these people are so ignorant sometimes. I talked with Remenda about this, like, I don't know, 4 years ago, where Remenda and I asked him, I go, what the fuck happened there? And,
yes, that's true.
And Remenda just goes, it's Ratto was saying some stuff that I didn't like. And so, the production guys saw that, or it was Randy saw that I was seething, and he was just like, okay, go ahead. And he's like, and I laid into Ratto, and he goes, and if you go back and listen to what I said, he goes, I didn't even make any sense. I was just like, he goes, and we're on the bus back to the hotel. My cell phone goes off, and it's Ratto, and the first words out of his mouth is, "How you doing, honey?" And Remenda goes, "I'm doing well, dear. How about you?" And Drew said, look, I'm sorry about that. And Ratto was, to his credit, goes, "What are you talking about? That was fantastic. It's great TV." So,
right.
Don't all, when you see that type and it's See, this is the funny thing that on one hand, I love it. On the other hand, I hate it. Is I sit there and I go, I like the fact that they're friends. And I just, I hear that story and I go, okay, that was a genuine disagreement in the moment. The thing that makes me just kind of is today I see too many of those type of moments and they're manufactured. They're specifically done for clicks.
Screw you, AJ.
It's not authentic. So it's, I see that shit and I just go, ugh.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And Steve, that was the Rado said something like, at some point, just go win the game. And
if you're such a good team and you're expected to make the playoffs at some point, you have to just win the game. Yeah. And it was Drew go, what the hell do you think they're out here trying to do, Ray?
Exactly.
It's fantastic. Yeah. That's what you can go easily find it on YouTube, and it's still just chef's kiss. It's a perfect moment in time from a Sharks broadcast.
It might actually be on Brodie's YouTube channel.
It very well could be. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh man. Yeah.
For the forthcoming season, just to put everybody's mind at ease, there has been no announcement as to who's going to fill this slot. So, and they're clearly enormous shoes to fill. Again, I think the obvious choice is it's NBCS going, well, it's not as we're going to pay somebody else. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Laura Britt come in as the likely replacement. If it's that Carlos guy that I've seen on 49ers things from time to time, I bet that's going to be super entertaining in the way that like seeing an opening act get booed off stage is entertaining. And dude, God help them if the fucking prompter ever goes out, because I don't have faith that either of them could vamp for 5-6 minutes. They just don't know. I see Steve saying, wasn't there some light rumors about John Scott? John Scott said on his podcast a couple weeks ago, keep an eye out for me in San Jose. I don't know what the hell that meant. It sure as shit okay. I understand that John Scott said that, but let's critical thinking plays a part here. Do you want to replace the guy who grew up a Sharks fan, grew up an A's fan, is entrenched in the Bay Area, is ridiculously interwoven with both teams, can speak knowledgeably about both in the last easily 30, 35 years of their history, has ridiculous relationships with both clubs? Do you want to replace that? Not to mention the home studio that he has, and the YouTube channel that he's worked so hard to, blow up, and you want to replace that guy with, sure, a NHL All-Star MVP that had a largely forgettable season with the Sharks, probably knows nothing about the history of the Athletics, probably knows next to nothing about the history of the Sharks, has a brood. How many kids did this guy have? Like 8 girls. He's got like 8 daughters. And you're going to pay to move this guy? My point being, there's no fucking way John Scott is replacing Brodie Brazil. Okay?
Tune in tomorrow when we say John Scott's replacing Brodie Brazil.
Dude, I'll bet money on it right now. But for me, it's, again, I think it's going to be Laura Britt. I unfortunately think Carlos is probably going to get a look here and there, which to me, I'm just like, I won't be able to turn the channel fast enough because, well, let's be honest, dude, a rare few bring a fan's passion to their work. And Brodie did that. Yeah. Anyone else? Who else took the time to set up a Zoom call with fans just to shoot the shit and have a beer and just to sit there and shoot the shit? I mean, dude, he's going to be missed by the masses, but based on his talent and passion, it ain't going to be for long.
No. And the big part is he did that with us and a bunch of others.
A's
one of
fans
he did it with a Last Dive Bar, which is a huge support group for the A's, and they were doing work with the A's until the A's said screw you, and boy, did the Last Dive Bar screw them back. I love their passion that they bring to it. I would just say, hey, if you're looking for another team to get passionate about, the Sharks are calling. I'm just saying.
Sure.
No free ads, but for Last Dive Bar, oh my gosh, and the stuff they put out is just phenomenal, and I love your passion, and I'm sorry it's that the A's are going away for you, but I appreciate what you've done in this last year plus.
I wish the Sharks had, I think it's unfair to call Last Dive like a booster club.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them that.
I don't really know like what the proper umbrella to put them under is, but I desperately wish that the Sharks had a group just like that. I think that would be fantastic. The other thing I think would be absolutely fantastic, again, at this point, there has been no announcement from the Sharks or NBCS Sharks as to who will be filling the ridiculously huge shoes of Brodie. Again, I point to the current people that are employed there that are just kind of like, can they read a teleprompter? Sure. Push them in front. Let them fucking yabber, yabber, yabber. But and I know that
unless
Brodie, I think Brodie is what?
Unless we can get Sonia.
That would be great. I had no problems with that.
Yeah.
But what would be great? And I know that Brodie is too professional and too classy to do this, but Brodie literally already has this like incredibly well-established YouTube channel. How fucking great and how huge of a middle finger would it be to NBCS to if he did just even for the first month, if 30 minutes before every Sharks game, he fucking comes on and just goes for 30 minutes, little chat interaction, comes on with some stats. Maybe he's talking to Darren Stevens a little bit, who's feeding him some cool shit, and just, riffs, goes for 30, and then is like, okay, guys, I'll see you after the game's over. And then after the game's over, riffs for 30 during the intermissions. Hold on. During the intermissions, get like first intermission does like Instagram Live, builds that up. Second intermission does like a Twitter space, builds that up. He's not going to do it. He's too classy and professional to do that.
No, he'll join us because, like California Cruising says, time for a Teal Town pregame show.
Might have to do. Let's. You know what? If
Brodie,
you know what, I'm going to make you this. The people that are nice enough to join us, and support our channel, I'm going to make you this promise right now. Anytime that if I see. You know what? In fact, I'm trying to. How fast can we like in the spur of the moment? How fast can we go live? Like 2 minutes?
Yeah, we could probably do 2 minutes.
Okay.
5 at the most.
Okay, 5 at the most. I'm going to make you guys this promise. If I see that Carlos guy is going to be doing the pregame, I will, even if it's just me with nobody else, I will go live. And I will put on a better broadcast pregame than that freaking Carlos guy.
Christian, by the way, yes, I am. This is a Reebok Edge prototype jersey. Everyone starts sending donation super chats. Hold the door.
And you know what? And I don't mean to
appreciate it, bud.
I don't mean to be that guy, but it needs to be said.
Oh no,
we cannot thank people enough when they decide, to be generous enough to do the donation thing. But if you enjoy the podcast and want to support it with the donation, I totally ask you to please use Venmo, because, we appreciate the YouTube super chats, of course, but Venmo doesn't take 35% of it like Google does. So, and plus we get taxed on those, if you can believe it. So just an FYI, and for transparency's sake, there are costs associated with doing this podcast. and all donations we receive go into paying for the software licenses for, the Ecamm software and StreamYard and stuff like that, the audio hosting, all of that stuff, the what is it, the website hosting, the vanity URLs, all that shit. So, but the best part of donations, it keeps us commercial free. How much would this conversation, we've been sitting here talking for almost an hour straight. How much would this have sucked is that we're 20 minutes in and all of a sudden we got to stop for 3 minutes and talk about shaving your pubes or what website to go to place bets. I don't know about you, dude. What I hate it when I'm listening to a podcast that's just like humming along at a great clip, whether it's Dangle, whether it's Bill Maher, whoever it is.
And I love Dangle.
Yeah, you're humming along, and all of a sudden, like a hard right turn, and all of a sudden you're into a 3-minute ad read, and you're like, and then you have to scrub forward, but not too forward, or you like miss some shit.
Right,
dude, it sucks. And I get that for some people, that's the cost of playing poker. I understand that, but we don't want to do the ad reads, and your donations allow that, particularly if it's via Venmo. So all that said, if somebody came along with a big bag of money and said, hey, read this in the middle of your podcast, we'd do it. But your donations allow us not to. So we, again, full transparency. And if you enjoy our podcasts on Teal Town, but you don't want to, or just simply can't support with the donation, no problem. Keep watching. All we ask is that just when you're watching a video, like it, subscribe to the channel, like it, maybe add some comments so we have some good interaction on the videos, get that quirky little unmistakably silly YouTube algorithm to do its thing, some good interaction. And if you, and share it with some friends, please and thank you, as they say in Canada, but that's all we ask.
No. And Crafty Qual, you do see commercials regardless. Yes, we do get some money from YouTube, but it is not much.
Yeah, no, we don't get a lot. And what, Crafty Koala, I should point out, it says we see commercials through regardless. That's for people that don't, have what it used to be called, RedTube. I don't even know what's it called now. Like YouTube Premium or something.
RedTube. Oh my.
No, I pay. No, not wasn't it? It was YouTube
Premium.
Yeah, but no, it was I thought it was RedTube or something.
Or YouTube Red?
Yeah, YouTube Red. It was some of the color or something. I remember I started either way. All I know is I pay like $8.99 a month or something like that to YouTube. And when I watch videos like religiously every night, I watch Jimmy Kimmel's monologue. I watch Seth Meyers' monologue. I watch Stephen Colbert's monologue. Never have I ever seen a commercial or has it broken for a commercial. But I can understand that, some people, if you don't pay for that, which I get, I don't like paying for it either, but I really fucking hate ads. So I got to do it. I gotta do it.
I get it.
Oh, I like Mikey J's comment. Beers with Brodie will always be a legendary show. No, I want to see Beers with Brodie on, shall we say, October 1st? Dude, could you with a bunch of with the people from, say, Last Dive Bar?
Would we actually hear Brodie curse for the first time?
I've heard Brodie curse.
I have not heard Brodie curse.
He did so. Christian, my late night choices are trash. It's a monologue. They're not all going to be winners. Oh,
no.
What is Beers with Brodie? Alcohol with AJ.
No.
Write that down.
No.
Right now.
No.
Write it fucking down. I'm writing it down.
We've been doing that for 10 years. What are you talking about?
This is happening. This is fucking happening. Oh, I love you. Who wrote that? We got to give that Christian. Okay, brought to you by Christian.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What are you doing? Easy.
That is fucking fantastic. Christian. And it should be pointed out, if I can remember correctly, fuck you, Ian. If I can remember, correctly,
I hope
Christian was also somebody who sent us a photo of them wearing a black Teal TownUSA shirt. There was somebody who, all right, Puck Mom, calm down. Okay. Just relax. Just relax. Anyway, I would love to see, again, I don't think Brodie is going to, he's way too classy, way too professional, way too smart to do anything to jeopardize his station and potential opportunities in the future. But I got to tell you, there is a certain kind of freedom, shall we say, that comes with. So let me just say this. I have a friend.
That's good.
I have a friend, everybody. Isn't that good for me? Anyway, my buddy, he's been self-employed. He's a nightclub DJ, he does private parties, does a lot of shit. DJing over 30 years. He's been self-employed that entire time. Right? So it's like he literally answers to no one. All of his all of his gigs, it's so much word of mouth. He's doing weddings and bar mitzvahs and all sort of corporate parties. He does an amazing amount of work because he doesn't have a website. He doesn't have like a whole professional Facebook page or a LinkedIn. It's because he's worked his ass off. Similar to Brodie, he just has remarkable word of mouth because he's a professional. Now, all that being said, he is also one of the most sarcastic people on the planet, and we dig at each other constantly. But my point is, he's self-employed. You cannot cancel him. His word of mouth is too good among the people that matter. And I would love at some point for Brodie, when he hits that point of ready to retire or whatever, I'd love to see him get on his YouTube channel and he's like, okay, I have some things to say. And just torch some people. I think that would be great. Alcohol with AJ, no script, make it happen. Fuck yeah. Oh, you know what?
Again, you've done that for 10 years on here. What are you talking about?
No, not the whole 10.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna announce something tonight.
Oh no.
October 6th. All right. That's a Sunday, everybody.
Uh-oh.
October 6th at 6. Just
He's
to make it a little
he's going rogue, folks.
Just to make it a little more memorable, October 6th at 6, it's going to be the debut of a new show. And if you look at Christian, he's got it. October 6th.
Oh no.
Thank you. Sunday
Oh, help us all.
is going to be the debut of the replacement of the Pucknologist podcast. It will be Sunday Fun Day. So there you go. And Hockey Jerk is no longer allowed to be on every show. So Ian will be coming in and replacing.
Oh, jeez.
And so October 6th, we're going to do our Sharks, our summer recap and Sharks season preview. Not crapping on your recap. You're doing something different, but we're going to do our recap. AJ is doing a new show with Carlos. Yes, that's what it is. I'm going to call Ian Carlos the entire time.
Oh, God.
But, oh, yes, I have some things to say, but I just wanted to share that with the folks. And, the other thing that I'm also going to share, I don't know, should I share this? Yeah, fuck it. This. Now watch Eric's face as I say this. 99% in all likelihood, this is my last year with Teal Town. This is probably it. I can't say. We've been doing it for 10 years, man. So, in all likelihood, that's probably it. We'll see. Unless, as I stated earlier, somebody shows up with a big bag of money. Then I'll stay here. But I don't know. Free AJ.
Or
wait a minute.
free AJ, please.
Wait a minute. Or unless every Sunday show ends up being alcohol with AJ. Then I'll stay here until like the Sharks don't play in San Jose anymore. Plan the parade. Absolutely.
Jonathan Becker, if you're watching, move to Santa Clara. Okay.
Yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back if the Sharks make the playoffs and if they win the cup. Then that'll do. And AJ,
wait.
AJ and Puckguy and I will roll it back to 2016, and we'll get the tattoos that we were going to.
Oh man, I've been wanting that one so bad.
I really wanted that 25th anniversary logo.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Hey,
dude,
maybe we'll get it as a 35th anniversary.
Dude, such a great logo. Are they going to do a 35th anniversary logo, you think?
If I were to guess, I may or may not have some knowledge, but if I were to guess, I would say yes.
Starting to think that,
and maybe they do 3510 on the patch or the logo to commemorate that 10-year anniversary of that team that finally got to the cup final. But hey, maybe going to another cup final. Who knows?
I just get I start to get to the point where it's just kind of like, oh my God, how many more ways can we make money? And this is not a Shark specific thing. This is what was that big thing that went O'Keefe, that O'Keefe thing from yesterday?
Boy. Yeah.
Well, just everybody. I mean, they broke it as though it's like, listen to all the things that this guy from the Washington Commanders said. And I'm looking at what he said. If you watch the video, out of context, when you read it, you got to kind of go, ooh, that's not a great look. But then you look at the way he says it, and it's just kind of like, NFL fans are violent? The hell you say? Show me those videos from last Sunday when everybody was completely peaceful and there were no fights in the stands. Like there was, or what was it? High school educated alcoholics. I'm here to tell you, I go over to a friend's house every Sunday for football to watch football. He's not off the mark, people. So just the fact that so many people lost their shit over what that guy said. And I'm like, he said the quiet part out loud. Why are people clutching their pearls? I don't understand that. But one of the things he said that stuck with me was the social justice stuff and the things like what does football do? Like hockey fights cancer. What is NFL like? It's stands like, up or something? Stands up to cancer.
Oh God! Crucial Catch is their cancer initiative.
Who does the stands up to thing?
I think that's a whole organization in general, but MLB's partnered with that.
Okay, so but each one, like each sport has their own thing. And now, great, it's obviously a worthwhile thing to devote attention to that if you can drive some dollars to that. But have you seen the merch that comes out every year for those things? And I guarantee you, those groups aren't getting a large chunk of it. It is largely performative. Even players have stated that. I just, I don't think that, some of those people, truth sometimes is a bitch, but anyway.
Especially when you're on a hinge date.
Ooh. Yeah, that was the part of it that I think is kind of jacked up. But
yeah,
anyway.
I see a lawsuit coming.
Go look at the O'Keefe thing for that. It was definitely a worthwhile venture to see. But anyway, this is about Brodie, and so let's finish it up with this is a horrible decision. I understand it, like they're cutting costs. I don't have to like it. We go back to the Ren and Stimpy horse. No, sir, I don't care for it. I'm dying to see the poor bastard that has to replace Brodie. It's let's be honest. Social media is a wasteland of vitriol, and whoever takes over for Brodie is going to get flambéed. in those first 5, 6, 7 games. Easy. Very simply. And then the other thing I want to know is who's going to take over. Doesn't NBCS have a deal in place where they're still going to broadcast the athletics games while they're in Sacramento?
They cut a deal with them to keep them on, because if they didn't have the deal, they didn't have the TV deal. I don't think they could move to SAC.
Which to this day, I still don't understand why that happened, why they didn't just stay in Oakland for 3 more years. But if that deal's in place or whatever, is NBCS even going to do a pre-post the next 3 seasons? Or are they just going to be like, here's a broadcast, fuck pre and post?
Who knows if they'll do that with the Sharks?
That's the other thing that I'm kind of like,
So get ready to go on 82 times.
I will totally do that.
Okay.
You know what? I think we should work out a deal. Like, okay, average week, right? With the Sharks is 3 games a week, generally, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And
Usually.
sometimes there's a 4th one in there.
Game.
So sometimes it somehow this schedule gets tweaky where it goes Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, and then it goes Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it gets back into the rhythm, right?
Right.
Like we've got to have a little balance there. I think we should work out a deal so it's like, okay, Teal Town, we're going to commit to Tuesday nights. Then we tell like JD, okay, you commit to Thursdays. We tell the Fin Factor guys, you commit to, Saturday games. We tell Shang, okay, you have to commit to all the other ones. Absolutely. I think we can pull this off. I don't understand what Gambit is, but bye. Yeah, that part I get.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah, okay, that part I get.
Gotcha.
Dun. Absolutely.
And people worry about me dancing. Oh boy. All right. Well,
I've never seen that in person.
Yeah, well, nor should we. Nor should we. All right. I think this is time to wrap it up here. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check this out on TealTownUSA.com or your favorite podcatcher. Of course, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, give us that thumbs up, give us that subscribe. And let me do it Brodie style, so that way we can definitely see you back here next time.
Oh, no. What is it? You've come this far. How does he do his YouTube videos? You made it all the way to the end. A like and a subscribe. I forget what it is. That's the other thing that I'm going to announce right now. Is
what now? You're just throwing me over.
The new Sunday show. We will not be asking you to like and subscribe because we believe that you understand how YouTube works by now. Dude, think about it. Every podcast starts off with this within 30 seconds. Like and subscribe to the.
Because if you're new here, please like and subscribe.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, bro, your last thoughts on the Brodie.
I understand that RSNs are largely failing. You hate to see that, but time marches on. We've seen the decline of print journalism. We're seeing the decline of sports radio. We're now seeing the decline of RSNs. Time marches on. And again, I think the cream rises to the top. The people that have the passion and the talent in this business, they're going to go far. I would be shocked if Brodie announced that his last day with NBCS is basically following the final A's game of this season. It wouldn't surprise me if October 1st, he has an announcement on his Twitter. He's like, hey, just letting you know, I'm now joining this group. Because let's be honest, people would be stupid to not hire somebody with his credentials, talent, and passion.
Fair enough. And I hope for the best for Brodie. I mean, he's been a good friend of mine, a family friend for over 15 years. And I think what?
AO's comment. It's a hockey jerk and Brodie's timing seems coincidental. Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, both of their contracts were not extended.
But Brodie's been a good friend for 15 years. He's always treated us with love and respect, and we appreciate what he's done over the years for us. And, you know, when going through trying to find all these pictures and everything, I know you found a boatload of them, but the one thing I found, and this one's a tough one, AJ.
Please tell me oh, Jesus Christ.
Was when I set up this whole graphic for the new A's ballpark, and I remember Brodie was preaching for tickets for the Winter Classic.
Did he retweet this by any chance?
I don't know if he did or not, but
how could you not?
But I mean, it's just,
dude, that's great.
it's such a bummer because, you know, he was hoping for the A's ballpark. You know, he's a big Sharks fan, and he always dreamed of having a Winter Classic in Oakland for it. So, Brodie, big love, all the best to you, my friend.
The one photo that I was bummed that I couldn't find, and and of course I'll find it about 5 seconds after we're done, was him on the broadcast, still with the COVID hair, wearing the green and gold Sharks cap. I gave him the mashup cap of the, the Sharks logo and the A's colors. And unfortunately, I couldn't find one. Brodie and I are both cursed with like the 7.5-inch domes. And this is like, just a hair smaller. And then when you got all the extra salad on top because you can't get a cut because of COVID. But yeah, I remember him putting on the cap with Brownie next to him before he was about to move on to the A's broadcast that season. And it was just, it's funny to see that lid very high. It looked like a chef's hat. Oh, did you want to say something about Shalana, or you're going to save that until Sunday?
We'll save it for Sunday because Shalana is another big part of our history and our support group throughout the years. So we appreciate that. And until then, thanks for watching. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, teal. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you. Brodie, we appreciate you. We love you.